Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Since this is summer and a lot of you are probably traveling and they might visit Paris because right now it's probably the busiest time in Paris, and it also happened to be the sale season. So I thought it would be quite interesting to talk about the different tips on how to shop in Paris and the mistake you can avoid and how to score designer item for much less. I'm gonna start with the sales because it's currently sale season, and something that you should know about the sales in Paris and in France in general is that they are regulated by the government. So the government decide of the dates. Usually it's about mid-Jan for the winter sales and the end of June for the summer sales, and they're about 5 weeks. More recently, they introduced the possibility for stores to have mid-season sales, but they are not as long and as big as the main sales that you have twice a year. However, if you happen to be in Paris just before the sales, stores have been doing something quite interesting for the past year or two. They've introduced something called private sales. So, I mean, they're not private as you need to be a VIP and get access. It's not necessarily like luxury brands or any particular type of brands. And basically, you just need to become a member of the club or subscribe to a newsletter or something. And they give you access online and in stores to private sale, which means that you get 30, 40, 50% off on some items that are going to be on sales, but you get, let's say, a premier access, so you get access to those items before the sales even start. I think it's very interesting to know because sometimes you might arrive just a little bit before, and it's also nice because not everyone will be jumping and you don't get like the crowd of the sale, but you get access to the pieces in advance. Let's talk about outlets. There is a place that is absolutely amazing. It's called La Vallée Village, and it's just one station before Disneyland. And this place is actually, I don't know if it's the same company or it's part of the same group, but it's the same concept as Bicester Village in London, and there is another one next to Milano as well. So they're quite similar concepts. It's a huge outlet with several shops, and those shops are mid-range to luxury. So you will find brands like Sandro, like Mage, and at the same time you will have Gucci, Salvatore Ferragamo, and it's such a great place to shop. I mean, if you're in Paris, you have to go there if you want to shop because you find so many interesting offers, and they are not, I mean, usually when you're in outlets you find quite old pieces that are from like 2, 3, 4 seasons behind, sometimes even more. But in La Vallée, I've noticed that, especially recently, they've started to bring more and more recent pieces. And Burberry, for example, they can have like literally the previous collection of coats and bags and accessories. So it's such an interesting place to shop. And if you're planning to visit that place, I would highly recommend to go to their website, give your email address, and usually they give you an additional 10% to use in 6 different stores. They will also give you access to the private sales because sometimes they have sales in advance. It's very interesting because let's say you're getting an item that is already, because it's an outlet, 30 to 50% off. If you go there during the private sales and that you're a member, you can get an additional 20, 25, 30, even sometimes up to 40% off. And if you're a non-resident of the EU, you get an additional 12% of the VAT refund, which I'm going to talk about right now. It's basically a 12% discount. The rules to be able to collect the VAT is that you need first to shop for a minimum of 175 euros and 1 cent. The second condition is that you need to have your residence outside the EU, not even outside France. So let's say you're German or Italian and that you're shopping in Paris, unfortunately you are not entitled to the VAT refund because you are living in the EU. However, if you are an expat, for example, if you're a French or Italian or German, but you don't live in the EU, you are entitled to the VAT. Like me, for example, I'm French, but I'm living in Lebanon. I am entitled to the VAT refunds. Don't forget to get your passport, or at least keep on your phone. I always have on my phone a scan of my passport because I don't like to carry my passport that much. And some store will be even really picky. They want you to physically present your passport. If you want to buy anything from Chanel, especially if it's a big amount, you have to know that the Cambon shop in 31 Rue Cambon in Paris allows you to benefit not from 12% but from 13%. You may think it's 1%, but believe me, when you're purchasing a $5,000 or 5,000 euro bag, this percent, I mean, it's still quite good to get by. Okay, one last tip about the department stores. And the most popular one among foreigners is the Galeries Lafayette. You should know that usually French, they'd rather shop at Le Bon Marché because it's actually the oldest and it's really iconic for French people. So if you really want to have another experience that is less touristic, I recommend that you go to Le Bon Marché instead of going to Galeries Lafayette. Just one thing that you should know, if you ever shop at Galeries Lafayette, you are entitled to 10% discount in all the stores. Unfortunately, it doesn't work in luxury stores. However, they can be quite interesting if you make other types of purchases. For example, lately I bought a Samsonite suitcase. They are quite pricey, but I managed to get the 10% discount with this card. And I got as well an additional 12% tax refund, so I think it's quite interesting. So these were all my tips on how to shop in Paris. If you have already been in Paris or live in Paris, I would love to know what are your tips and what are your favorite addresses to shop. I'll see you soon. Bye!